Good morning. Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Friday, August 25th. Check out the intro and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Oh, like I said, good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back. I am your guy, Hector, always joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. TC, how you doing, big fella?
Boom, doing very well. Here it's Friday. Hey, we made it through the week. Woke up, got my coffee going.
Oh, yeah.
But Yankees lost another series. So
it's the same.
Unfortunately, it's the same thing over and over and over. But
yep.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. We started an hour later just because our guy Pete is going on right now with All Rise at 11 a.m.
That's right.
So it seems going forward on Fridays, Yankees Morning Brew will be at 12 o'clock, which actually works better for the analytics on our side of things. So we'll be racking out from 12 to 1:30, possibly 2 o'clock. The open panel will be happening on later on as we get through the conversations. But like TC said, another day, another dollar, another Yankee disaster. That's what happened yesterday in the Bronx. We wasted Aaron Judge going yard. We wasted Giancarlo Stanton going yard. And guess what? We just here right now. Shout out to the chat, everyone that's in the building. We got 15 people who showed up. So if you guys can, please smack that like button. And if you are watching this for the first time, help us out with a subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Help us grow and be with us as we build this. Let's do a little bit of the roll call before we jump into any of the conversations. And shout out to everybody who supports us. We love you. We definitely love all the love and support. Big time Jerry's in the building. Jerry, how you doing? Good morning. Salute.
Jumping Jerry.
We got Mikey Mazza in the 4 Train Express. Mazza, how you doing? We got our good friend, Mr. Sean Browning, as always, in the building. We got NFE who just showed up. NFE, how you doing? Rumor has it, NFE will be jumping on the open panel later on today, hopefully.
What?
We got a Shane McNeil in the building. Shane, how you doing? Jason Lang, salute to you. I love the doggy picture.
Oh, yeah.
I love the pups. We got Dev Finch in the building. Dev, how you doing?
Pet-friendly
chat. Billiards in the building. Aiden, how you doing? And then we got Snowballs who said, Jigga, don't want to tell you what I thought TC name was at a quick glance. That's an inside joke right there. Shout out to Snowball. Appreciate you being in the building. We got Pat Cracker in the building. Pat, how you doing? We got Damian Serrano. Damian, how you doing? Welcome. TC, before we get into anything that happens with the Yankees yesterday, right? Something came out on social media from the Bleacher Creatures. We know the Bleacher Creatures as being the guys that get the roll call going, right? Shout out to Mark, who leads the Bleacher Creatures. I had Mark on this show back when we was on KOD Nights at Dejan, but Mark, he's a good friend of mine. We talk constantly on social media and Instagram. So when it comes to the Bleacher Creatures, I got a lot of love and respect for the Bleacher Creatures, right? So I'm going to show this clip, this message to the Bleacher Creatures, and it's pertaining to September 22nd, that fire Brian Cashman day. And then we'll get into the conversation. Okay. Here it is right here. And this is the message from the Bleacher Creatures to Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone.
Message. Hey, Brian Cashman, it's Luigi Squeegee and all the Bleacher Creatures. And this is a message. This is a message to you and Aaron Boone, and they want to say it for you. We're not going to allow what?
That's right. We're not getting involved in that nonsense on the 22nd.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at
No
all.
wild game.
That's right.
We're the originals. We love you, and we support you through the good and the bad.
That's right.
Damn right. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Yankees. Brian.
Now,
okay.
When it comes to that, I know some of you guys probably won't be 100% on board with it, but I understand where the bleacher creatures are coming from because at Yankee Stadium, there tends to be a fraction or a faction, I should say, a faction of some of the people that come to the stadium that aren't diehard Yankee fans. You got a bunch of idiots that come to the stadium from outside the city, whether it's Long Island, Westchester, not the 5 boroughs, and they love to get drunk and act like idiots inside of the stadium. These are the same characters that love to scream out F Jose Altuve when the Yankees aren't even playing the Houston Astros. Nonsense. So when it comes to the bleacher creatures, I stand by their stance because they don't want to tolerate or get involved in any of that lunacy, right? You see a lot of people on Twitter. I know I was joking that, hey, I'm going to show up to the stadium with T-shirts saying fire Cashman, fire Boone. Well, guess what? I guess people were listening to me because now everyone and their mother are selling fire Cashman and fire Boone T-shirts. So for me, I'm standing in solidarity with the bleacher creatures. I know how I feel towards the front office, towards Aaron Boone, and that's how I feel towards them. But when it comes to the bleacher creatures, I stand by with what they said. TC, what's your thoughts? And shout out to everybody who just joined the conversation. We got 20 people in the building, so smack that like button. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I'm a little torn on this whole thing. I get where they're coming from. You know, they're the diehard fans. They're there every single game since, you know, who knows when, since they were probably
Luigi, the guy who started the video. He's been going to the game since the 90s.
Yeah. So they have ties to you know, Cashman's dynasty years. I don't want to say he put that team together, but he has some sort of, you know, relationship with that team. And I get it. You know, those were some, you know, unbelievable years, and these guys are sticking with him through that. And I get it. He's made some decent moves here and there, but as of recently, no, he's the game has passed him by. He's not in tune with what baseball is nowadays, and it might not all be him. I mean, I know that it's I've been screaming that the analytics has a lot to do with it, but but as far as you know, I get it. I get these guys are, you know, rallying behind their man Cashman and Boone. I don't know if there's loyalty for Boone. I mean, he had one home run. Okay,
listening to the video back, they said, you know, we love you, Boone. And they said they give more support to Cashman. It was just more of a, hey, Boone, we love you. We here to support. I think that is what they're saying, right?
Right. But what that day is about is supposed to be fire Cashman, right? It had nothing to do with Boone.
Not nothing to do with Boone.
So I get it. I get where they're coming from. But you know, as us that we talk about baseball, the Yankees specifically every day or every other day, I mean, we're just tired of the direction this team is going. And he's the guy, he's the architect of this team. So that's why we got to move on. But again, I mean, I don't know. I'm 50-50.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. I see from there, and this is just me. You know, I didn't have conversations with any of these fellas. I wasn't there yesterday with them when they decided to put this video out. I'm just on the outside looking in. And let's shout out a few people as they came in. We got Raw Vet in the building. My guy, retired Raw Vet. How you doing? Salute. We got my friend Gio, unpopular opinion. My guy, Pop. How you doing? We got Sandy in the building. My friend Sandy from the Pipe. Sandy. Football as well. Sandy is the only Puerto Rican that I know that lives in Utah, so shout out to Sandy as well. But no, appreciate it.
Don't make her mad. She gets fired up. She does get fired up.
Listen, no, and let me just say something. To you guys that are on Twitter that are going out of your way to harass not just Sandy, but other women that are content creators or report on sports, poo-poo to you. You're a clown. You're a fool. Anytime I see that, if you guys see that on Twitter, report it immediately. Don't accept any of that, right? So my friend Sandy went through that shit this past week, and I was disgusted. There's no way, there should be no place for that. Sandy, I apologize that you have to navigate this toxic world that we live in that's called Twitter. But Sandy, you know we got your support. Anytime anyone comes at you like that, you let us know. Wave the bat signal, and we're there in 2.3 seconds. But no, looking at how the bleacher creatures approach this situation, right? And I think Damien said it in the chat. Hold on, give me 1 second. Like Damien said, I respect it, but I don't support it, right? So I respect stance that the bleacher creatures are taking because, like I said, you're gonna have a bunch of random people that are gonna call themselves Yankee just to find their 5 seconds of fame on TikTok or on Instagram. Let's be real. That's literally all it is. You go September 26th, you're going to see a bunch of bozos out there trying to find their 5 seconds of fame just so they could get a following on whatever social media platform.
They probably don't even know who Cashman is either, too.
They don't even know what this man looks like. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let's do a couple of shout outs to the chat. We got William M in the building. William, how you doing?
What's all that about?
We got Frank Rivera in the building. Frank, I think William is sending Morse code. He's sending a Morse code. That's what it is, right? William, if you're sending a Morse code, you just let us know.
Cashman sucks. Boone sucks. Okay.
You're like Sean Browning just said, that is unacceptable. Women are bosses. They run the world. Bullying and intimidation are cowardly acts. Absolutely, Sean Browning. And I think me and Sean, we be on the same wavelengths when it comes with that. My guy Dev Finch as well is in the building with that one. Hold on 1 second. Frank Rivera said, well said. Sandy and Grace Monroe, they know their shit.
Grace?
Absolutely. Shout out to Grace Monroe as well.
Very intelligent women out there who know their sports, guys.
Exactly. You got to be kidding me. So since we're having a conversation when it comes to Boone, when it comes to Cashman, when it comes to the front office, shout out to Anthony Medina, my hermano de la Isla in the building. Anthony, how you doing? And we got Sudi in the building.
That
who says, "Hello, chat." Anthony Garcia's in the building. Samantha,
how you doing? How you
doing? Absolutely. Anyone that tries to go against the knowledge that Samantha, that Grace, and that Sandy has, you guys are a bunch of idiots, right? Sandy can run circles around you when it comes to talking about this team. I guarantee
Samantha
that.
knows her sports. She knows her Yankees
right?
too.
William says, sorry guys, I'm doing some steam cleaning on rugs. Have you guys about here? While
I think it was a keyboard lock or something. He just kept, he had his finger on the wrong letters.
He said his phone is in his pocket, right? So boom, let's jump right into it, right? Joe Sermon came out yesterday, and shout out to my guy, Johnny Rendanzo on Twitter, who put out the article that Joe Sermon put out. And let's just read this just a little bit. It's just a snippet from that article. He says, how Steinbrenner needs to hold Brian Cashman accountable for the Yankees' failures this season. Now, according to Joe Sherman, these are his words. My beliefs is that Steinbrenner will look at this like any company and see an employee who he likes having a bad year after 25 very good ones. And he would probably give Cashman a chance to fix what is broken or what has been broken under his watch. I would think the leash truly doesn't become short unless the awful 2023 season is followed by a woeful 2024. And I got to agree when it comes to that. Just a sampling of what Steinbrenner must seek more than superficial answers for. These are the questions that Joe Sermon wants Steinbrenner to ask to ask Cashman. Question 1. Why has the team not uncovered more average and better players in the draft? 2, why have there been no sustained stars signed internationally, which is a great question. 3, is this about the people picking the amateurs or those who are developing them once they become Yankees? That's a great question right there. Or maybe both. Another one, why have so many players who had strong and initial moments with the Yankees have gone bad? And why has that not internally been diagnosed in time before we could trade them or before the entire industries figure out that they have no value? Clint Frazier, Miguel Andujar are perfect examples of that. Why has the team's trading record become so poor? Why have injuries remained so numerous? Why has the team not excelled in the nuance of baseball? How many times you seen guys getting thrown out trying to go from second to third with a ground ball that's hit right in front of them? You see it almost every day watching the Yankees, right? Why has the team locked? So why is the team locked in when it comes to so many right-handed hitters? TC, I'm gonna throw it over to you. When it comes to these line of questionings from Joe Sermon, what's your thoughts on that? People in the chat, let us know as well. When it comes to Joe Sherman and his questions, what's your thoughts? Go ahead, TC.
Well, every one of those questions point right back to Brian Cashman. He is in charge of all that. He was the architect. He puts together the roster. He puts together the scouting department. He puts together all of those questions that Joel Sherman just said. You know, all righties, all, you know, what's going on with our, you know, development. That all has to do with Brian Cashman.
I think I think the international superstar, not the last international superstar was Robinson Cano, who has followed up after him. That's been an international superstar. We drafted Judge, right?
Yeah.
Judge was the best superstar we drafted since Jeter. Look at it. Look at it over the past since 1990. We drafted Jeter. He became a star. Who else we drafted besides Judge and Jeter that became a star? We signed Robinson Cano. He became a superstar, an international free agent signing. Who's the other ones? My fault, TC. Go ahead.
No, I mean, honestly, I can't think of any because they've all, you know, they thought they've drafted good, but you know, you named, you know, Andujar and Frazier, those guys they just didn't pan out. Dominguez might be the guy. They're putting all their eggs in his basket right there.
Maybe,
you know, like
maybe
he's the next
over 300 in AAA right now.
Exactly, he's the international star. But look, we've waited so long for him. We've heard this about Dominguez for how many years now? 2-3 years?
Oh, I mean, and the thing
what was he,
Dominguez
16 when they drafted him?
Either when they signed him when he was like 16, 17. I just looked. I was last night while I was doing my pre-work for the show today. I was like, how old is he's going to be 20 by the time spring training is next year. He's going to be 21. It's like we've been hearing Dominguez. We've been hearing about Dominguez ever since he was like 12 or 13 years old. That's what it feels like. I want to highlight a super chat real quick from my guy Anthony Garcia with the $2 super chat. Did you guys see JD was toxic in the Twins clubhouse? But for some reason, Anthony, Brian Cashman didn't see that. For some reason, the analytics decided, you know what? We got to sign that guy who had issues in Cleveland when he was there for that half of a season, who had issues in Atlanta, who had issues in Minnesota. But for some reason, he thought the Yankees will be able to fix him. I got the rest of the quote from or the rest of the article from Joe Sherman. It has been humiliating considering the payroll, the famous names, and the history. A true autopsy must be undertaken to determine the cause of death of competence. Cashman will offer what is legitimate and what is bullshit, but Steinbrenner must make sure it is a brutal self-examination that leads to real alterations. And that right there, that last part about it, right? If anyone takes any journalism classes, TC, I know you dipped your toe when it comes to that. A good way to define a journalist is if they could take their goggles off and be right down the middle, right? It's like me. If I'm going to write an article about my friend TC, right, I got to be unbiased. I got to be able to call it down the middle, even if TC is my friend or not. I got to be able to look past that and actually get to the details. That is what Hal Steinbrenner needs to do. If it's not this offseason, because you want to give your guy a chance because, cool, one bad year in 25 seasons, copy. We'll give you that. But if the bad season from 2023 rolls over to 2024, things need to switch up. TC, what's your thoughts?
No, and you mentioned it just a bit ago about the analytics. Cashman relies too much on the analytics, and that needs to go. He got lazy. Let me shout out my guy, Mr. DJ Steels in the building. Steels, how you doing? And like he said, we got 40 people in the building. Smack that like button. My fault, TC. Go ahead. Where was it? I don't know.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
No. So I think they got lazy. The analytic team took over. They stopped, just looking for a decent baseball player and just relied on all the numbers and the exit velocity and the launch angle and all this philosophy of home runs or nothing. We don't want to bunt. We'd rather, we don't want to, we'd rather have a strikeout than hit into a double play or bunt into, that whole philosophy has got to go. And Cashman relies on those guys way too much to do the scouting, to do that, picking of players or free agents, especially good examples of Josh Donaldson. Why in the world would you get him? He's way past his prime. Yeah, okay, he's a home run hitter. We give up Gio Urshela, who's just as good in the field, if not a better contact hitter, to get what? I mean, that's the bonehead moves that he's making of late that we're all frustrated, and that's why we want him out. He's really run this team into the ground, and there's no light here at the end of the tunnel. We've got all these contracts that we hard to get out of, LeMahieu and Stanton, and it just goes on. And now they're looking toward the kids to rely on. I mean, how many of these kids are gonna pan out and be a Jeter or be a Posada or be a Rivera? I mean, maybe 1 out of 7 or 8 of them. So it's just not looking good in his resume here. And Steinbrenner really, like you said, he has to have a bias and look at it right down the middle and say, you know what, your resume of the last couple of years, I can't do this anymore. I can't put up with this losing. This is a losing organization, and this is not the pride that my dad went through with in the 90s and the early 2000s and even in the 70s, when they built with Reggie and Guidry and those type guys. I mean, this has gone off the rails.
There's a great
it needs
point
to be brought in.
There's a great point in the middle of this quote or this article from Joe Sherman that says one of the questions that Hal needs to ask Cashman during this offseason is it about the people who are drafting the amateur players, or is it about the people who are developing those players once they become Yankees? And that's the thing that we need to figure out. Is it our scouting department not being able to scout the actual players that we need, or actually doing good when it comes to scouting, or is it development? Because Jason Dominguez, he was praised as this big prospect, one of the best international free agent signings in recent memories. He came to the Yankees, and I don't think the Yankees development has done good for him. Obviously, he lost that one season because of COVID. We get it. You can't control that. But what did the Yankees do from a development point of view when it comes to Dominguez, outside of just allowing him to play in the minors? What are you doing with these kids? Why is it that Everson Pereira has been the only Yankees prospect to hit over 300 this entire season?
Yeah.
You got some guys at AA that are killing it right now, like Ben Rice, but Ben Rice, he just got called up to AA. Right. You look at Everson Pereira from AA to AAA on both splits. He is the only prospect that we have in our system that hit at 300.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's the development, because I'll take another example. Oswald Peraza.
My fault. I just want to point out, shout out to Bonesy in the building. Bonesy, salute, 3 capital X's. My guy Hit FX is in the building. Hit, how you doing? We got 7 in the building with the drums. Salute. I want to shout out DJ Stills real quick, right? Because with Fresh and Fit, that podcast losing demonetization. If you guys want to know how to actually talk to people out there, hit up my guy DJ Stills. This is the real love doctor we got in the chat. Shout out to DJ Stills. Salute. Go ahead, TC.
Yes. So another example about the development is Oswald Peraza. Now, Peraza has gone through his whole career with this leg kick, and now they want to get rid of that leg kick.
Oh, God, bro.
So what does that tell? I mean, once they get a hold of these people, these players, they want to change them into something else that has been working his whole minor league career. I mean, they do it constantly with all these kids. They want to change them into something else. Oh, they did it with Sonny Gray. They want to change his, don't throw the curve or don't do this. They just let these guys do what they've been doing to get them to the highest level. This is the highest level. I mean, it's the hardest thing to do, I think, in sports, is hit a baseball. The baseball, I think it is. So, and they want to change it. So I don't get it. It's you guys got to leave it alone, and that's the problem. It's a problem right there.
Well, Dylan Lawson. Apparently, Dylan Lawson, he hired everyone that's in the Yankees development system when it comes to hitting.
And I didn't know that until you said that yesterday.
You guys let Dylan Lawson be in charge of hiring the staff in the minor league system to take care of our young kids and develop our young kids. The same Dylan Lawson that went to Transylvania University. That's who you let hire the development staff in the minor league system. A man who didn't even play in the minors. He was good at the college level. He was amazing at the college level. He never proved that he was able to translate that to the minors or the big leagues. So a guy who had no experience in the minors or the big leagues, you gave him this big job of hiring staff to develop these young kids. You guys saw the Ben Ruda interview on Foul Territory. Shout out to my guy Scott Braun. But Ben Ruda talked about how they got rid of the T's. Ain't no more T work. They play games out there. If you strike out, strikeouts don't matter.
No, they don't care about it. Yeah, they don't.
Come on.
Well, I don't think they watch the players. This is their development right here. Just let's look at the books. Let's look at analytics. That's it. That's all they do. They don't even watch like what was going on with the guy. They really don't. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know who's running the whole thing. You said Dylan Lawson. That's that whole system. They got to gut the whole system. They got to get all those guys got to go from scouting to development all the way through the organization, top to bottom. I'm sorry. I mean, it's
when you look at it, right? It is front office negligence. You bring on contracts that don't pan out. We gave DJ LeMahieu that contract extension at the time. Was it a good move? Yes. He just came off of winning a batting title. That was a good move. Phenomenal move. I don't think anybody was foreseeing DJ LeMahieu having this type of a dive. The only move that we could point out and we could say that us as a fan base, we was torn or we had mixed feelings about was Giancarlo Stanton. Right? But you still
maybe the Hicks extension.
You still no, because at the same time, when we did give Hicks that extension, he did come off of a good season, right? So he did show some promise. I would have liked it to have been 2 seasons back to back, but he did show some promise. I'm not gonna lie I'm gonna be honest when it comes to that. He did show promise, 25 plus home runs, 20 plus stolen bases.
He did look good.
High on base percentage, gold glove, outfield defense. That arm was phenomenal. He showed promise. It didn't pan out. It didn't work. But it's not just that.
Right.
It's the minor league system and developing our young players. Like I pointed out, Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge, not because of the Yankees minor league system and their development. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge because of him and his agent going out there and finding a hitting coach to help him develop into what he is right now. That's the only reason Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. It's not about the Yankees minor league system or the Yankees coaching or anything like that. No, it's about Hitman teaching, who's on YouTube. I'll pull up the video right now. TC, go ahead, talk to the people while I go find this. Shout out to my brother, Mr. Worldwide Mayberry. L, what it do, baby? Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, and just for an example of this year, like when they needed a left fielder, what did they do? They went out and they were getting guys that were DFA'd or, just journeymen or, like Frenchie Cordero and Jake Bowers and Willie Calhoun. They had no faith in bringing up their kids when they were right there. You had Florio, you had Pereira, you had Dominguez. I know he was not ready yet, but that goes to show they'd rather dumpster dive than go with their young kids. They don't have faith. I mean, when was the last time you keep saying it? They brought up a kid that actually panned out and was successful. I don't see it. Volpe, I mean, he's, just beginning out there. He's just having, he's just starting out. So he might be the only one in the last 4 or 5 years. Honestly, I can't even think. Last year, nobody really. They brought up Peraza, and what did they do to him? Send him back down. They're ruining it. That's what they do. They ruin their guys up and down, up and down, up and down. You can't get a consistent player that way. they're not going to feel comfortable in the majors when you are treating them like you do to Florio and you do to Peraza, and that can't keep happening. And where does that fall on? It falls on the ownership and the organization with Cashman and all the guys that he's hired. It's terrible. It's just terrible look.
I want to bring this up so you guys can hear it out of the horse's mouth himself. This is Aaron Judge talking to Mookie Betts about his hitting coach. And you guys can look up this man. He's called Teacher Man Hitting.
For like 2 months in the year, I hit 179, like brutal, getting booed. Like, man, this ain't for me, you know. And actually, with my agent that brought up, hey, I got this hitting coach that I work with a little bit, near the end of my career. He still works with guys. I think you should check him out. I was like, Dave, give me anybody, because I'll take anything over the 179 and the performance I put out there. So I flew out to Arizona to meet him. I actually went with Rob Refsnyder. We're hitting in the cage with this guy. And Mookie, I'm telling you, he watched me hit a little bit, and he said, hey, try this, this, and this. I made a couple of changes, and bro, I'm telling you, like that, I hit a couple of balls. It was like instantly different. I felt like I've never hit a baseball like that, So I remember getting back in the car with Rob right after we hit for like an hour or two, and I said, bro, I think I'm hitting 50 homers next year. Like, kind of joking around, but I could see the change and like the difference in the big leagues for like 2 months.
And this is the guy. And this is just simple drills that he do. No analytics,
my leg twist.
Nothing like that.
My toes are trying to turn back toward the catcher. I've got a twist on that leg. And now when I do that same move to hit the catcher on top of his head aggressively, my leg turns me. Here is the aggressive move to the catcher, and then with the leg turn, it takes me right into the ball. So we have to get this move all in as sudden and explosive as we can, and the leg will turn you. I did that from a no stride. I can do the same thing from a stride. Okay?
Simple, basic, no analytics.
Right.
No launch angle, no exit velocity. How many times, TC, do you watch the game, right? And you see Aaron Judge in the on-deck circle, and he's doing that same drill that man was just doing. How many times do you see Judge doing that? Almost all the time.
All the time.
If the Yankees don't hire this man to be a special instructor, there's something wrong. Teacher Man is that guy when it comes to hitting. And look at him. He looked like he's in his 60, 70 years old. He's swinging a bat better than I can. And I'm in my 30s.
He knows what he's talking about. It goes to show that the Yankees they're stubborn. They're egos. They don't want to, go this route. They want to go their own route, and they think they know better. They think they know hitting. They think they know this. Oh, we're going to do this. These teams are doing this. We're going to do something else. But yeah, look at your record and look at everyone else's record. They're passing you up. I mean, the writing's on the wall, guys. I mean, you got to change.
Yeah,
got to change
something. You got to switch up the velocity. It hasn't been working over the past 5 years. You got to switch it up, right? And look at the other player that Aaron Judge was talking about, Rob Refsnyder, who left the Yankees and went to Boston and became a hitting machine against left-handed hitters. Left-handed pitching. Rob Refsnyder leads all of Major League Baseball when it comes to batting average against left-handed pitching. Was that because of the Yankees, or what was that because of that teacher man, that hitting instructor that him and Judge was working with? I think it was because of that hitting instructor that him and Judge was working with. Shout out the chat. Let me shout out a few people who came in the building. Saint Hades is in the building. Saint, how you doing? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. We got Christopher Cancel in the building who says, I'm a Mets fan, but I agree. The girls don't deserve that kind of treatment on X. Keep up the good work, ladies. TV, welcome back. Hope you had a good vacation. Christopher, I appreciate you for those fine words. He meant to say, TC, welcome back. Hope you had a good vacation.
Thank you, Chris.
Who else we got in the building?
Yes,
Dr. Hitskins is in the building. My guy, salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Razil the Great said, I'm sub to his hitting coach on YouTube. He's a phenomenal guy. If you got young kids, if you got nieces and nephews in your life that love the sport of baseball or softball, have them listen to this man. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
I think someone put it in the chat. that said he spent 2 years in the basement with his son perfecting. Oh, here it is right here. Hit FX. Teacher man spent 2 years in his basement to help his son, and he became and came up with the snap. Bingo. Proof is in the pudding. The Yankees, they got to switch it up. Punjab Kings fan is in the building. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. And we got L.I. Yankee King, the only troll in the Yankees universe we acknowledge is our friend L.I. He says, guys, don't worry. We found another excuse for Michael K to use. Don't worry, fans. We are 580 and 20 in the last 1,000 games, so it's all right. Yo, L.I., I swear to God. Saints Haiti says Yankees culture change would give them a breath of fresh air. They need to look at the Braves and what they are doing. No, absolutely, bro. I definitely agree with that. Let's switch it up to just a little bit since we are talking about Cashman and the front office. We got to start looking at next year, right? This season is a wash. We understand that. We got to start looking at next year, and we got to start looking at one of the big things that we need to improve next year. And that's the starting rotation. Outside of Garrett Cole, we need to upgrade the starting rotation. Shout out to Sandy and Julian from Dugout Station. They reported this yesterday. The Yankees were among 10 teams scouting Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Japanese pitcher that will be posted this offseason. Brian Holtz reported the Yankees rotation is 9-18 with a 6.04 ERA since the start of July. Only the Pirates has a worse ERA at 6.42 over that span. If you take away Garrett Cole, the Yankees rotation is 7-16 with a 7.30 ERA over that span, the worst in baseball. Garrett Cole has had an amazing season this year. It's going to be wasted and thrown away because it is what it is. The Yankees need to make sure the starting rotation next year is not top heavy with just Garrett Cole. I know we got Rodon on the books. We got Nestor Cortez on the books. Hopefully both of those starting pitchers can come back healthy. But the Yankees, we need to add another ace to that rotation to pair with Garrett Cole.
I agree.
Rodon, but go ahead, TC.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, we were, I know I was high on the pitching all year. At the beginning of the year, the bullpen, that was our strength. And now it's caught up with the hitting. And I mean, these stats you show below here, oh my gosh. I mean, with the ERAs, and you take Cole out and it's 7.3. I mean, that is a joke. That is a joke. Yeah. So Yamamoto would be a nice pickup to add to this rotation. I wouldn't mind even an Aaron Nola. Or I don't know if Urias is available from the Dodgers. I don't know if he will be. I think he's a free agent.
He is a free agent. I stay away from Urias just because of he has a very long injury track record. I'll stay away from him just because of that.
Yeah, but a left-handed pitcher. We could always, we always need a left-handed pitcher. But so we have Cole, Rodon, and Nestor. I mean, that's a good, I guess, 3 right now. I mean, Clark Schmidt. He was looking good for a long time, but I don't know. Of late, he hasn't panned out. But I think they'll take a look at him, and you still have
good confidence going towards next year, right? Clark Schmidt, outside of Garrett Cole, has been one of our best and most consistent starting pitchers, right? So hopefully, this is just a building moment for Clark Schmidt, so he could come back next year and be counted on to be a 5th or 4th starter in the rotation,
right? Yeah. So I mean, again. I know we need a solid pitching staff. I know that's a good, good thing to have going into next season. But again, the offense is the glaring issue. I mean, we do need to
Anna just pointed out,
staff, for sure,
Michael King, he wants to be a starter.
I don't know.
He wants to be a starter. I get it. I understand he wants to be a starter, but like you said, what is better for the team? Is it better for him to be coming out of the bullpen or to be a starter in that starting rotation? If he's a 4th or 5th starter, and that's for the front office to decide. But when you look at the money that we have coming off of the books, and I'm right in agreement with Medina, I definitely prefer King coming out of the bullpen.
Right,
but
he's a weapon.
Coming out of the bullpen for the 7th and 8th inning, not coming out of the bullpen to pitch multiple innings in the 6th. So not that. I want him to be the 7th or 8th inning man. I don't want him coming out of the bullpen to be a long reliever. I don't want that. Right. But I agree with Medina when it comes to that. But when you look at the money that we have coming off of the books, we got Josh Donaldson's 25 million, which is going to be 20 because of the buyout. We got that coming off of the books, right? We got Luis Severino's 15 million coming off of the books. Domingo Germán's 5 to 6 million is coming off of the books as well. Frankie Montas's 10 million is coming off of the book. So just in those names that I named, we got about like 50 to 60 million we can play with. We can go after not just one starting pitcher. We could go after 2. If we could get Yamamoto for about like 20 million a season, we still got more money to spend if we want to go all in and try to get Ian Snell or Aaron Nola, right? We can still do that. It's just not dipping into the wallet and bringing more of a payroll in. No, this is repurposing money that's coming off of the books, TC.
You mean Blake? Do you mean Blake Snell?
What I said, Ian Snell?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blake Snell. Blake Snell is what I meant. The pitcher from San Diego.
Right. No, I mean, we got to make sure we have some money for the offense, though. I mean, we got to make some changes. It can't be all the prospects. There's no way they're going to go out and roll Judge with prospects out there. I mean, that's not going to happen. But I mean, that would really definitely look good with Yamamoto. I'd be happy with just him. I mean, him with mix him up with Nestor and Rodon and Cole, and then we don't forget we have Will Warren, Clayton Beater, we have Johnny Brito, we have Randy Vasquez. Those guys are good for 5th starters. I would be fine with them as a 5th starter. I don't need a number 1 starter all through my rotation. So
I want to believe in Will Warren, but when you look at his numbers in AAA, he's pitching to an ERA that's over 4. Yeah. Coming into the season, Will Warren was ranked as our best starting pitching prospect. He's been leapfrogged by 3 or 4 other pitchers, right? I don't want to totally give up on Will Warren. I'm not saying Will Warren is the next Chance Adams. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But when you look at his numbers in AAA, it's very alarming.
Yeah,
they don't pop out of the page like some of the other pitching prospects, right? So, like I said, I'm not saying he's the next Chance Adams, but what I am saying, you got other guys that leapfrogged him. Richard Fitz looks like he's probably going to be one of our best starting pitchers.
Yep, that's
a phenomenal one. So we got some arms down
Beater's
there.
at AAA now, so he's
at AAA as well. So we got some arms down there that could make some noise. It's just some of the prospects we thought were going to take a leap forward. They didn't. They took a leap back. Chase Hampton, like Damian just put.
And that's the problem, though.
Like he's the real deal.
That's the problem. We wait too long to involve these prospects in a trade, and now look at now Will Warren doesn't look as good. He's we don't foresee this happening, and they don't look ahead. They're not proactive. They wait, and now what are they going to do? Is he going to be a all-time AAA pitcher and then end up DFA him like they did Devi Garcia, who was supposed to be the next Pedro Martinez? I mean, it happens constantly, on and on and on, every single year with these guys that are, hyped up. And that's the problem. They need to trade these guys and get prospects from other teams because the other teams seem to develop their players a lot better. But again, they come here and we try to change them and we ruin them. So that's why we got to gut this whole system out.
The Yankees, we may not have any top 50 prospects, right? I get that we don't have any top 50 prospects, but besides the Baltimore Orioles, we have 7 players that are top 100 prospects. And we are the only team besides the Baltimore Orioles that has that going for them. Like I said, our 7 prospects that are top 100, they're not top 50, but they are still top 100 prospects. So hopefully Spencer Jones can turn into something. Jason Dominguez, Everson Pereira was up here. He got his first hit in the big leagues. We got Chase Hampton down in the minors. Damian pointed him out. We got Drew Thorpe also. We drafted a young high school shortstop by the name of George Lombard Jr., who he jumped up rankings this year as well. We still got Roderick Arias, who we signed a few seasons ago. Austin Wells is on the Cups right there. Trey Sweeney, Will Warren. So, you know, I know I brought up Austin Wells, but there's a big possibility that Austin Wells gets the call up. One thing when it comes to the Yankees system,
I'd love to see that.
a lot of people was criticizing the Yankees for drafting so many different catchers, right? Anthony Sigler, Austin Wells, Ben Rice. But when you look at it, Austin Wells is at AAA mashing. Ben Rice, when you look at his numbers since being promoted to Somerset on July 18th, Ben Rice, who was a left-handed hitting catcher, he leads all Eastern League hitters with 11 home runs, 34 RBIs, 18 extra base hits, 77 total bases. He has a 668 slugging. He has an OPS over 1,000, and he has a batting average that's over 310. Again, he got promoted from high A to Somerset, which is double A, but he's still hitting over 300 with the rest of those numbers.
And there was another catcher. I know Pete had mentioned him over and over. Augustine Ramirez,
who's killing it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another catcher. They love catchers, I guess. I mean, because I don't know who's next, but Wells, I would love to see him up here like next week. Like he definitely needs to get a shot. We got to take a look at these guys and see what they got for next season. I mean, this season's a wash. I mean, I get it. Last year they kind of refrained from bringing a lot of the guys up. You know, that's why they didn't bring up Volpe. But this year is pretty much a wash. They're not going to make it. So this now is the time to showcase these guys. And come on, Wells, you got to be up here now.
Yeah, Wells, at least if not Wells, one of the pitchers have to be up here. You know, even if it's Will Warren, who had a 4 ERA down at AAA, even if it's Will Warren, one of these guys got to come up. They're going to expand the rosters to 28 in September.
Get something going.
September call-ups are literally right around the corner. We're about to be in the month of September, so hopefully something happens, right? Because like you said, this season's a wash. We got to look towards 2024, point blank period. And I get it,
and
right?
we gotta have something to look forward to. We can't watch these games over and over, and these disappointing losses like that game yesterday. That was just ridiculous. But I mean, when the kids come up, you want to root for them. That's what I'm watching for. That I'm not watching really to. I don't expect a win now every game. I just want to see what the kids do. And yesterday was so exciting when Pereira got his first hit. He was just so excited, and his family was jumping up and down. I mean, that's what it's all about. We got to see more of that. And this year's done. So let's get excited for them, for the kids.
Yeah. Now, not only for the kids, I understand our record is what it is. We they like to say we're not mathematically eliminated. We're eliminated.
Whatever.
So we're eliminated, right? I'm looking towards the draft next year.
There you go.
Right? Because the Yankees, we're in a very we're in uncharted waters. We got to look at the draft next year. Right now, I'm gonna bring it up right now. When you look at the teams that are on the bottom, the Yankees, we are 13th when it comes to draft positioning. So we will pick the 13th pick in the draft this year if the draft was to happen right now. But I don't want that. I want the Yankees to get a little deep in that draft. L.I. Yankee King posted something in the chat who said, hey, guys, if we lose out and we get a top 6 pick, the luxury tax penalty of losing 10 spots in the draft will not affect us. So if the Yankees right now, if they go into the draft, just because we're in the luxury tax threshold, the penalties, that 13th pick becomes the 23rd pick in the draft.
Oh,
okay. You got to remember that because we are in the luxury tax penalty. That's a part of being over the luxury tax, falling and draft positioning. So what I want the Yankees to do, we are just 4 games better than the Pittsburgh Pirates for that 6th pick in the draft. If you get in the top 6, you're in the lottery of the draft. I want the Yankees to aim for that 6th pick. You guys is looking at this kid on the screen. You're like, who is this kid? Is the first baseman from Wake Forest? Is it a guy by the name of Eric Krutz? When you look at him, he is the best hitting prospect coming out of college. He is a sophomore. He will be a junior next year if he went back. He is declared for the draft. He will be 21 years old. When you look at his numbers, he has a 353 batting average. He has a 527 on base percentage, 24 home runs, 69 RBIs. He is a 6'5" first baseman that can play the outfield. And also, he is a left-handed slugger.
Mm-hmm.
When you look
That's
at his numbers, he walks 22% of the times. He only strikes out less than 16% of the times. This is the guy that is a high average, high power, and a high walk rate. This young kid, he is 6'5". He's a first baseman. Like I said, the last time the Yankees had the 6th pick in the draft, we drafted Derek Jeter. You got other players that are higher ranked than him. They're high school prospects. I don't want a high school prospect.
No more.
I want a guy that's 1 to 2 years away from the big leagues. This guy, Eric, he is a couple of seasons away from the big leagues. If we were to fall just to that, it's just 4 games. I'm not saying we tank the rest of the season. We just need 4 games. We're just 4 games better than Pittsburgh. If we could get to that 6th spot and we could draft this kid, he could be ready in a couple of seasons and he could be our first baseman of the future. He has gotten, he has drawn comparisons to Scott Olsen. He has drawn comparisons to Freddie Freeman. He has drawn comparisons to Don Mattingly.
Whew. Now you got me. Now you got me interested.
Go ahead, TC.
Love to have him. No, I mean, you said as far as tanking, the Yankees find ways to lose, so they don't need a tank. They always find a different way to lose. You think they're trying to lose, but they're actually just fumbling the balls and doing, it's comical. It's comical, especially yesterday with Clay Holmes in that 9th inning. Oh my God. But yeah, this is a dream scenario. I mean, these are the kind of guys they need to get, guys that are 2-3 years away from the majors. And stop going for this high school kids. Stop going for the 16-year-olds. I mean, our future's now. We got to develop kids, and I don't want to even say develop because I don't even think the Yankees know how to develop. But this kid, he brought up some good numbers. I mean, the left-handed, doesn't strike out a lot. On base percentage is terrific. I mean, that's what they need to start doing, is looking at low strikeout guys. And it's just bad for baseball. I mean, even Susan says, yeah, this is boring, on the hot mic, I mean, you want to keep seeing this, strikeout every guy, 1, 2, 3 innings. I mean, we got to go a different way. And, this kid, hey, I like it.
If we draft this kid, he immediately becomes our #1 ranked prospect. Immediately, he is going to be ranked higher than Spencer Jones. He'll be ranked higher than the Martian Jason Dominguez. This kid will be a top 10 prospect in Major League Baseball next year. When you look at the other kids that are available in the draft, and I'm just looking at the mock draft that was put out, a lot of these kids, like I said, is either starting pitchers or it's high school kids that are two-way players. So this is where I think the Yankees can sneak in. If they can get that 6th spot, just like we snuck in there and got Derek Jeter, we can get this young kid, Eric Krutz. I know someone in the chat asked me, who is this kid, Hector? He is Wake Forest first baseman, Nick Krutz. He is plastered all over the 2024 draft boards. He is a left-handed hitting first baseman with massive power. He has drawn comparisons to Matt Olson. But like this person here said, but before MLB comes calling and there's work to be done, he has to win the College World Series and break a lot of the school records, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. When you look at the draft or the mock draft, the first pick is his teammate out of Wake Forest, a pitcher by the name of Chase Burns. Then you got the Royals drafting a kid out of West Virginia. The Rockies drafting a kid out of Florence, Missouri, out of a high school. The Nationals drafting a kid out of Scottsdale, Arizona, a high school as well. Then you got the White Sox drafting a pitcher out of Iowa. And then you got this kid who is supposed to go at 6 to the Pirates. But if the Yankees can sneak in there, we can steal this kid away. Like I said, he is the most MLB ready bat coming out of college. He is the best bat coming out of college. The stats, they prove him himself. Like I said, you never know what a prospect is going to turn out and is going to turn into. But if there was ever a sure thing, this kid, Nick Krutz, is a sure thing.
Yeah, we need a first baseman. But before we go any further, Hector, what do you think? Open panel time, right? It's 9 or 11, 12:50.
12:55 my time, 9:55
9
your time, TC.
9 over here, yeah.
So we're going to put the link to the open panel in the chat. Like always, folks, when it comes to the open panel, everybody is welcome to come on the open panel. Just be respectful to everyone that's on the panel. Please be respectful to YouTube and Twitter's terms of services. We got to be respectful to one another. If you're in the middle, if somebody is in the middle of giving a take, you let them finish before you jump in, because the same time will be given to you so you can finish giving your take as well. My guy, David Elias, with the $5 super chat. ERA is above 5 for all of our top pitching prospects. Sam Brand is another Blake. No MLB experience. College dude, good at math. Analytic team is the worst. David Elias, appreciate you for that super chat, but you hit it right on the head. Now, I'm going to bring up my guys for the open panel. First and foremost, I got to bring up Jonathan. Look at you, handsome.
Hey,
what's up, baby?
He's not at work.
I know I'm not at work. I'm actually on the other side of the country. I'm probably I'm in Washington.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So you out there on the West Coast, different time. You're in Mikey Maz's neck of the wood, because that's where Maz is at over there. But Jonathan, you've been listening to the conversation. You kick it off. Where do you want to start with? Go ahead,
the one thing about the draft, I'm curious. I was just looking at the Yankees payroll, and I think they're above the luxury tax. Do they drop 10 spots even if they get number 6?
If they're in the lottery, they're not affected by it, right? But if they're outside the lottery, they fall those 10 spots. So if they're 13th, they would be 23rd.
Yeah, because currently I think they're in the top 10 based on the record. But
no, they're 13th. They're not in the top 10. They're 13th.
Maybe I was just doing a simulation and they moved up. But
maybe no. They're 13th.
At this point, you might want the Yankees to try to get into that lottery, that top 10 to prevent dropping 10 spots, because this year has been the fact that they didn't trade as much as they could at the deadline is just shows you how messed up this whole season has been, because it's just one of those
denial.
Look, well, has this been the worst year since 92 or 93? Or because I know 90.
It's been the worst that we've seen, Jonathan. It's been up there. It's been one of the worst that we've seen.
I'm a little older than you, Hector, so I was around.
But you're looking good, Jonathan. You're
not
good.
older than me. I bet you that.
I'm not gonna ask your age.
No, it's all good. Don't need an age.
You have no idea. You have no idea how old I am.
But we got 45 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. I'm gonna bring up somebody else for the open panel. We got Mazza backstage. We got Li Yankee King. We got Sunil. We got Big Time Jerry. I'm gonna bring up Mazza, Jerry, then Li, and then Sunil. I'm bringing you guys up with the way that you came backstage in the queue. So I'm bringing up Mr. Mikey Mazza in the
Mazza.
What it do, Mazza?
What it do?
Chilling, baby. Well, you've been listening to the conversation. You saw me break down the draft. You saw me talk about the prospects. When it comes to the draft, and when it comes to our prospects, Mazza, what's your thoughts? Lead the way, baby.
So I don't know if you guys saw the couple of comments I made about the top 30 prospects.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to tell you how scary this is and why I think they're just going to continue to ruin these prospects. For one, Jason Dominguez, I think it was like 2 months ago, was our number 1 prospect.
Mm-hmm. He was top 50.
In our system. He just got jumped by Spencer Jones, who's projected to be ready by 2025. That means Jason Dominguez is projected to be ready for next year.
Yeah, we hope.
So Jason Dominguez has all the talent in the world, and we know this, but he's been completely destroyed by these analytics. Because if you look at how he was hitting in the first half of the season in the minors, he was hitting what, 300 or something? You were saying, Hector?
You talking about this season?
Yeah, this season down in the minors.
No, this season down in the minors, he was hitting well below 200 to start the season.
yeah.
It wasn't.
When he picked it up is what I'm saying. When he picked it up,
he picked it up after Dylan Lawson was fired, and I guess they switched whatever they switched whatever in the minors, and he started. He started
picking it up, and he got dropped to 2. That just goes to show you how analytics is killing this team. They got to stop. They got to stop with that. They got to move away from that, because if you look at it, a computer's just telling you numbers. A computer's not telling you anything. I can look at a computer all day and look at numbers all day and say, oh, well, he's going to be a bust. He's going to No, that's not going to tell you anything. Going out and actually watching the players play, that's where your best source of information is going to come from.
Facts.
That's why they're dropping prospects like that. That's why prospects are getting ruined, because they're not going out to actually watch these kids.
Yeah.
They're going off a computer.
David Elias said Dominguez had some chicken parm.
Maybe.
That's what it was. No, but to just to piggyback off of what Mazza said, and I'll throw it over to you, Jonathan, before I bring up Jerry. What happened is in the middle of the season is when they do the re-ranking of prospects. A lot of our prospects, they fell in rankings. Like I said, to start the season, Jason Dominguez was a top 50 prospect. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 42nd or 46th to start the season. I know Dane is in the chat. Dane, let me know what Dominguez was ranked to start the season when it comes to top 100. But what happened was a lot of our prospects, they lost their ranking. That's why Spencer Jones leapfrogged Jason Dominguez and is now considered our number 1 prospect. Go ahead, Jonathan, and I'm going to bring up Jerry to join us in the conversation.
On the point that I was just listening to, the Yankees, for some reason, have been running their team through a computer based on numbers, not with their eyes and player development.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of anti-computer language being talked here. All right, go ahead, Jonathan.
No, it's just based on the facts. You see you see how Dominguez was batting over 300 to under 200. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Well, shout out to Blood of the Panther that's in the building. Salute, 3 capital S's. Go ahead, TC. I'll let you answer that before I bring up big time Jerry.
Yeah, they're concerned with exit velocity and launch angle. That's all they're concerned about. The guys that they get nowadays, like the Gallows and Donaldsons, yeah, they hit the ball hard, but that doesn't mean that doesn't turn into a hit. Yes, analytics say that it's more likely to get a hit the higher the exit velocity, but I'm watching with my eyes these guys hitting, and it doesn't translate to a hit the way they're out there trying to hit. It's just not working out. And that's what they're doing to all these kids. It's the same philosophy. Make sure you hit the ball hard. Make sure. Oh no, don't make contact. Make sure it's hard. Don't shorten up your swing on 2 strikes. Swing from your heels and strive for a home run every time. And it's not working. And that's the philosophy that needs to go.
They don't use their core. They don't let the bat drive everything. They just say swing for the fences every time, and that's not going to work. And Hector, in an answer to your question, 78, 79, and 80 for top 100 prospects. 78 is Spencer Jones, 79 is Jason Dominguez, and 80 is Everson Pereira.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yep, that's where we are, and it all falls on development. I'm gonna bring up Jerry. Next, I'm gonna bring up Li. I got Sunil, and then I got retired War Vet backstage. My guy War Vet, it's back days. War Vet, hang on as I bring up the other fellas. I'll bring you up to join us into the conversation. But big time Jerry. Oh, Jerry, I love you so much. How are you doing?
Good morning, Hector, Todd, and the gang. Did you hear the latest
morning,
rumor?
Sir?
Go ahead, Jerry. Let us know.
They're going down to the local high schools and looking for contact hitters.
High school.
Well, they'll probably find some better bunch than we got on this big leagues roster. I'll tell you that, Jerry.
I think so.
Yeah, well, they need to be watching the Little League World Series and take some pointers from them. Yeah, all right.
You know what gets me, and Pete brings it up all the time. Watching Little League kids and a kid that's on second base and the ball is hit to the shortstop, they run to third base. The major leagues is atrocious at this. I don't know what they're doing.
You taught me in Little League not to do that.
Exactly. I would have kicked them in the butt doing
Yes, you would have.
No, but Jerry, listen, Jerry, I appreciate you every time when you jump on the open panel. The support you show us in the chat is amazing. But you've been listening to the conversation when it comes to the draft and when it comes to the prospects. I want to throw over this specific question to you, Jerry, because I know you've been watching this team longer than any of us have been watching it.
Oh, God,
when it comes to the draft, I know the Yankees, they haven't in their history been known to rely on getting players in the draft. How do you feel we should approach this draft that's coming up, Jerry?
Well, the thing is, you want contact hitters and you want speedsters. That's what we have to inject into this team. You got to cut down the strikeouts. There's way too many. The way they swing, they're swinging for the fences. And forget about it. It's not working. You got to make contact like Luis Ariz and like what is it, McNeil for the Cincinnati Reds? That second baseman, he's a darn good ball player.
Oh, Jonathan India?
No,
the Mets.
McNeil for the Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds.
No, you're talking about Jeff McNeil from the Mets. You're talking about Jonathan India. Jonathan India from the Reds. Jonathan India
plays second base for
India.
the Reds.
Jonathan India is the second baseman for the Reds.
Wait a minute, they have another kid.
You're talking about the shortstop, O'Neal.
Oh, Ellie De La Cruz?
Ellie De La Cruz, I mean.
Ellie? No, I'm not sure who he's talking about.
Yeah.
Ellie De La Cruz is great. The kid has got speed.
Yeah, he's
he injects
uber talented.
That's what you get.
Super talented ball
player.
He
is. Those are what we got to go for. We got to get kids like that. Who?
De La Cruz is a switch hitter.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It goes on the point to that Joe Sermon article, and I'm going to bring up Eli Sunil and then retired war vet to join us. Joe Sermon in that article that I pointed out earlier, when was the last time the Yankees had a superstar that was an international free agent signing? It was Robinson Cano. And look how far along that was.
2009. What a hitter he was.
No, we signed Cano back, I think, I want to say 2002, 2001 when he was 16. But he came through our but look how far back that is.
Right.
That's 2001 when we signed Robinson Cano when he was a kid.
And he was in the World Series in 2009.
Yeah.
By the way, just to put this out, Hector, because you asked about it earlier, about where Jason Dominguez was.
Yeah, I saw you put it in the chat. Go ahead, Mazza.
24th in the top 100, he was 24th, and he's now dropped to 80 or 79.
Easy. And that goes on the Yankees development. That all falls on Yankee development. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Don Sicario in the building. Don, how you doing? We got 45 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button.
The other question about the Yankees, if they spend all this money on analytics, why don't they spend some money on developing their own players?
Because they don't.
That would be common sense. Not just that. They're hiring the wrong people, Jonathan. The wrong people in place.
But to Hector's point, if it makes sense, then why do it?
That's basically all it is. But I'm gonna bring up the next conversation. I'm gonna bring up my guy Eli real quick. Eli, Yankee King is in the building. Eli, you right there with me, baby.
How you doing, Eli?
Pretty good.
Eli, I took a deep dive yesterday on the draft because I saw a tweet that you put out yesterday talking about the Yankees should focus on the draft. So I was like, let me look at the draft. Let me see what players is up there. And I think Nick Krutz is the best major league ready bat that's coming out of the draft. He will be a junior this year. If he went back, he's going to be 21. And like I said, his numbers, his walk rate, he has over 500 on base percentage. He walks 22% of the time. He only strikes out less than 16% of the time. Li Yankee King, I'm going to throw it your way. What's your thoughts on the draft, my guy?
Now, with the draft, I would absolutely tank the season. Just make up an injury for Gleyber Torres, make up an injury for Stanton. They'll probably be believable. Judge, just get him the surgery, and then just go with some guys in AAA, and then just tank and see how far you can drop.
Right.
Because if we get to 10, we now go back to 20. If we go back to 9, we're at 19. You need to be in that draft lottery for it to not affect you.
Mm.
This is the plan. As the Mandalorian would say, this is the way. Focus on the draft.
This is the way.
We only got 35 games left. What could worse happen? You know?
Yeah. Well, 4 games.
We're in the bottom.
Well, 4 games better than Pittsburgh, who has a 6th spot for the draft, which is 4 games better than them. With 35 games left to go, let's go on another 9-game losing streak. I don't care. As long as the kids get to play.
Oh, I care. I don't care.
Losing every series.
At this point, it would be better for the Yankees to tank.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Remember what the Red Sox did? They pick 7th in the draft and they won the World Series in the next year in 2018.
No, yeah.
They finished last and went to first like 2-3 years in a row. They kept doing it flip.
So why can't the Yankees do that? If they're running,
knowing the Yankees, they'll end up winning the rest of their games and finish like around 500 and be like,
don't do that.
Sorry, oops.
Mazza got so offended.
Don't do that, TC.
Mazza got so upset when you just said that. But no, listen, it's
not the Yankee way.
It's not what it's not what we want, fellas. That's not what we want.
I think
the season's over. But with the way this season has been going with this team, that's a possibility that can happen. Just so they can just so they can shove it to us, they would do that.
I'm not sure if Steinbrenner will respond anyway unless he loses money. As long as he makes money, he doesn't give a shit if we're spending last or first. He's making the money.
The draft, just so Dr. Hitskins knows, the draft, and if I'm not mistaken, I know Sandy and Dane's in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, it's July. At the All-Star break, right? It's like July around the All-Star break or right before the All-Star break.
It used to be in June, but now it's in July at the All-Star break.
They started adding it with the All-Star break to be a part of the festivities over the last couple of seasons. But guys, Eli, I'll throw it over to you before I bring up the next 2 to join the conversation. Go ahead, Eli.
Hector, I want to say something about the analytics.
Go ahead. Say something about the analytics. Tell us how much you hate it. Go ahead.
It stinks.
With everybody saying how we should get rid of it. No. The problem is you have absolute nimrods that are too old to understand the analytics in the front office. Yeah. Like Gene Afterman, Nimrod. Brian Cashman, Nimrod. Brian Sabian, Nimrod. Omar Minaya, Nimrod. To understand the analytics. They're like, what are these? What did you just bring me? Oh, these are numbers. Okay, we'll do our whole organization's personality around these.
You could tell L.I. Yankee King was the L.I. Yankee King was the kid in school putting the "kick me" sign on the back of people's backs. You could just tell.
I am offended. I did not do that.
Yeah, Li. I was on YouTube 2 weeks ago, and I was watching videos from when you was 16, bro. I know how you was acting in school. Okay.
I only did
the school find you.
Copy. Li, you know you my guy. I'm gonna bring up the next person to join the conversation, and guys, let's welcome them. This is the first time that they're on the open panel. We're going to bring up retired war vet to the conversation. Retired war vet, how you doing, big fella?
All right.
Salute to you, sir.
Thank you for your service, my guy. Appreciate you for your support over the past couple of weeks that you've been in the chat. But retired
Hold on, guys. I can't see you.
Oh,
we see you.
We see you.
Oh,
uh-oh.
There he is. There we go. Can you see us now, retired war vet? Oh, technical difficulties. War vet, you there, baby?
He can't see us for some reason.
I don't think he can hear us. So I'm going to keep you right back there. Hold on. Let me just add him again. War vet, can you hear me now? Can you see me?
No.
Okay, I guess he's having a
not.
problem. Warvet, what you could do is refresh the StreamYard link, refresh and jump backstage, and I'll bring you right back up. But while Warvet's figuring that out, we got to bring up Sunil to the conversation, aka J. Robert Oppenheimer. It's in front of us, absolutely.
Oh boy.
Where have you been?
I woke up and I immediately chose to drink sober. Blue hashtag blue agave.
You woke up and chose violence. That's what you did, Sunil. How are you feeling this morning?
So, if there's a common audience out there between Wednesdays, All Rise, and this group, number one, no, I'm not drunk LI. So whenever I leave voicemails, do not say that ever again.
I heard that on Uncle Tad's show, and I was like, let me go back and rewatch All Rise to see what Sunil was fucking talking about. Sunil, hold on just 1 second. Guys, just hold on 1 second. I want to bring up Warvet again to see if this is working. Warvet, you good, baby?
I guess
Can you
not.
see us now?
Yes.
He's like frozen, I guess.
No,
I don't know.
It was moving. The camera was moving.
It was moving.
Okay.
Warvet, you there, Warvet? You good?
I can see his hand.
He's on.
We can see you. We can see the flag.
Yeah, we see
you.
us.
Yeah,
We see you.
He's not picking up the
He
voice.
can't hear us.
I don't think he can hear us. That's the issue.
If you're out there, just click on the three dots and adjust your audio settings and everything. You might want to do that in addition to refreshing the stream.
Yes, for those that don't know, Sunil is our IT professional. So whenever anyone's having an issue, we call up Sunil.
Yeah. Now, unlike other folks, I know, being an IT person, I also oppose analytics, but I don't oppose AI implementation in MLB. That's one thing I do feel that could help. So if you want to go there with the machine language and the artificial intelligence strategies, that's probably a better approach.
Let me see right now. Hold on, wait 1 second, fellas. Warvet, can you see us now? Can you hear us now?
Oh, he's waving. He's waving.
There it is. Can you hear us?
Speak.
You, can you hear us? Sorry
come
about that,
on.
Warvet. Some technical difficulties, but until Warvet figures that out, we're gonna bring up our guy Dane Hubert to the chat.
All right, Dane.
What's good, guys?
And
Good. How are you guys?
YYU is in the building. Dane, my brother, how are you feeling, baby?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm good,
What's
bro.
up, Dane?
I'm good.
Good.
We're not too happy with the team.
Trying to survive.
Who
watching
could be?
Yeah,
Who could be happy?
Yeah,
exactly. Dane,
So
you've
let
been
me-
listening to the conversation. Give me 1 second, Sunil. You've been listening to the combo. We were talking about the draft. We're talking about our prospects. Dane, since you're someone who covers the minor league system, someone who's more knowledgeable on the draft than any of us that's up here, I'm gonna throw it over to you, Dane. What's your take on one, our prospect pool, and two, what's your outlooks on what the Yankees' game plans should be for the draft?
Well, the draft can change so much in the fall and spring because you have new kids entering what you're trying into the draft class. That changes so much in 1 year. So the guys that are up top right now aren't necessarily going to be the guys that are going to be up top in a year from now. As far as the talent in the system, I'm much more optimistic than most. The kids that we have in the FCL, John Cruz, Emmanuel Tejada, Kiner Delgado, that list goes on and on. They are some of the most talented kids that we've had in a very long time. And that group includes Roderick Arias, George Lombard Jr. Those guys come in. Henry Lalane, who just signed with Boris's agency, is a big 6'7" left-hand pitcher. Carlos LaGrange, who's a guy that throws 102 as a starter.
Whoa.
We've got lots of good pitching coming. We've got lots of good players coming. It's what they're teaching that's the problem.
That's it.
Yeah.
There you go. You said a mouthful.
You brought up the name Kiner Delgado, and he jumped on my radar last year when he was first introduced to the FC or that league that's down there. If I'm not mistaken, Dane, didn't he lead in every offensive category besides home runs? He led in average. He led in doubles. He led in
Stolen
triples. He led in
bases.
on-base percentage, stolen bases, walk rate, slugging. Even though he didn't lead in home runs, he still led in slugging. That right there was impressive to me because he was getting the extra base hits with the doubles and with the triples. How do you look when it comes to the Yankees? We have a boatload of shortstops. We have a boatload of catchers. In your eyes, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing for the Yankees?
Yeah, where's all the outfielders?
The players that we have at catcher, I'm really, really high on Agustin Ramirez and Jesus Rodriguez, but Euclid Urea is a kid that hasn't debuted yet that might be the most talented kid in the system as far as a catcher. As far as the shortstops, they're versatile enough. You got guys like Hans Montero, Tejada, Kiner, Arias that play all the infield positions, and they can play the outfield a little bit as well. So those are the guys that move around the easiest. You can have them play other positions. At the upper levels, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, one thing about what you're saying, they have all these good players, but they will have to. They can't protect all of them from the Rule 5 draft at the end of the season.
No, that is an absolute fault of Kevin Reese, the farm director. He does not get them pushed up quickly enough. They're gonna. I mean, Yoendry Gomes is a guy who's been on the 40-man roster for 3 years, and if he doesn't go on the 26-man roster, they lose him, and he's never been in the major leagues. Flo, Chaparro, they're gone. They do a horrible job with the guys they have to protect. Jared Cerna is another guy that's Rule 5 eligible that is in high A. That's a really, really good middle infielder, but he's Rule 5. Familia is Rule 5 this winter. They've got so many guys that are Rule 5s that they have to protect. If you thought losing Garrett Whitlock was bad.
Yeah, I brought that up. Whitlock. Yeah.
If you think
just one second, I just want to make sure. Retired Warvet, can you see us? Can you hear us? You good? All right. Can you hear us though? You good? All right. Warvet, appreciate you jumping on the open panel. First time on the open panel. Welcome, Warvet.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Warvet. You hear what we're talking about when it comes to our prospects in the draft? What's your thoughts?
I don't hear them.
Audio is working.
Yeah.
Warvet, your audio is not working on your end. You have to go into
settings.
I'm sorry about that, Warvet. You got to go into your settings and fix your audio. Your audio is not working.
Toggle the audio setting. If you're using earbuds, toggle it to Bluetooth headset.
Hey, I had a question for Dana. Are any of those guys lefties?
Go ahead.
Which guys?
Any of the guys you mentioned?
Yes, John Cruz is a left-hand outfielder. Kiner is a switch hitter.
That big that you were saying throws 102.
One of them is a left-hander. Lalane is the left-hander. LaGrange is the right-hander that throws 102. Okay. Lalane is a left-hander that throws about 97, 98 with an absolute wipeout slider. If you guys have seen Chris Sale and Randy Johnson, he looks very, very close to them. It's a flatter arm angle.
I would hate to lose that. I would hate to lose that.
How tall is he?
He's 6'7", 6'8".
Wow.
That's intimidation.
Wow.
That's
coming up.
a left-handed Dellin Betances,
Having a young Randy Johnson on the roster.
Yeah,
it's more like a young Randy Johnson, to be honest.
Wow.
I would hate to lose that in the Rule 5 draft. I would hate to lose that.
Dane, I wanted to get your take, Dane, on some of these other pitching prospects that we had. Chase Hampton, Drew Thorpe, they jumped up and leaped when it comes to our organization rankings. But I want to ask you about Will Warren, who was coming into the season ranked as like our top pitching prospect. He hasn't had the best season so far at Scranton. What's your expectations when it comes to Will Warren? What should we expect as fans?
Well, one thing with Warren is the control has always struggled a little bit. And when he was in AA earlier this year, they were using a tackier ball like they use in Japan. Now that he's gone up to AAA, the control issues are showing up. But what he's also working on down there is he's a 6 to 7 pitch pitcher. They're working on him paring that down. So that's why he's struggling.
Okay.
You can't throw a 4-seam, a 2-seam, a sinker, a slider, a changeup, a curveball, and a cutter at the major league level for consistency and get outs. It's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Well,
as
that's
far
a
as
problem.
Chase Hampton, he's not a finished product yet, but I think that he probably has the highest ceiling of the guys that we're talking about at the upper levels. But Drew Thorpe is the guy that everybody needs to get really, really, really excited about. I don't know that he'll ever be an ace, but as far as a number 2, he's the best bet, and he is almost a finished product. He is flat incredible.
Yeah, he just pitched against the Iron Pigs, wasn't it? The Phillies club and had 12 Ks.
He's in Double-A?
No, he is in Double-A.
Oh.
No. Thorpe is in Double-A. He's had 2 starts in Double-A, went 8 innings, 9 strikeouts the first outing, and the second outing went 6.2 with 12 strikeouts.
Wow.
He's a strikeout machine.
He leads the league in strikeouts. We have 3 guys in Hampton, Thorpe, and Richard Fitz that are in the top 6 in strikeouts in all of minor league baseball.
Wow.
They are really, really solid, and they all should be ready next year.
Isn't Fitz another Rule 5 draft?
No, I don't think Fitz is.
No,
I don't think Fitz is.
I thought they were drafted in 2000.
Sandy just put in the chat that Thorpe's starting today, so we can take a look at that.
Also, if I can real quick, we got 55 likes on this stream. We got 40 people in the building. If you haven't hit that like button, just smack that like button for your boys real quick as we continue the conversation. We're going to throw it around. Retired War Vet, I see you backstage. We're having audio issues when you're connecting. I can't hear you. I'm going to try one more time. Yeah, can't hear you, brother. I do apologize for that. TC, I'm going to throw it over to you. We got a game later against the Tampa Bay Rays. Jerry pointed that we got 35, 36 games left on the season.
35.
What's your expectations for tonight and for the rest of the stretch, TC? Then throw it over to Jonathan, Eli, Jerry, Mazza, Oppenheimer, Sunil, and then Dane to close us out. Or get ready to close us out. Go ahead, TC.
Well, knowing what I know now about the draft position, I'm saying, just let's just go out and play all the bench players, bring up all the kids, and then let's just, see what happens. I know the Yankees find ways to lose, so, just do what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Let's get, in the top 6 of the draft. I don't even care really about, the stats of any of these guys. Just the kids, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these guys come up and see what they can do. But as far as, any wins, putting any more wins on the board, I could care less. I'm done with that.
Just throw it over to Jonathan. Jonathan, same take. What's your thoughts on it? And then throw it over to the beautiful LI Yankee King.
Well, with Cole pitching, I expect him to pitch deep into the game, maybe going 7 innings, going maybe neck and neck in terms of 2 to 3 runs. But at the end of the day, I don't expect the Yankees to beat the Rays.
No.
No, I don't.
Copy.
But I expect to be a pitching duel.
Copy. Eli, my favorite troll, aka my New York Giants brother. I can't wait for this season to start when it comes to the G-Man. Eli. Oh, just so you guys know,
Jumpin' Jerry's happy about that.
It's not this Friday. We had to move it till next week Friday. You guys know Joe from the shift. He does a Giant show on our channel. Next week Friday, Joe will be on, and he will have a special guest. Our friend Jerry Ferrara from Entourage and from Power will be on the show with Joe next week Friday to talk about some Giants football. But Eli, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Go ahead, baby.
So with the Yankees, I want a record of 10-25. Completely flop the season. As my name says, tank for Kurtz.
Kurtz.
Yeah, tank for Kurtz. And let's go G-Man.
There you go. Jerry, same question going your way. I know you already hinted at it, but what's your thoughts for tonight and for the rest of the stretch of the season. Go ahead, big time.
I agree with Jonathan. I think he'll go 7. He had a clunker last time, but Cole is so consistent.
Yes.
He's the best pick. He's worth the money. We paid the money. He's worth the money. Rodon,
wasting his years.
We don't know about him. That's why I call him Rodon, because.
Oh God!
But I expect to lose again. We find ways to lose the game. I'm crying on the inside, Hector. I'm telling you. I've never seen a team like this.
Jerry, make sure you go and get the copyright for that Rodon thing, because Sunil's going to change his name to Rodon after this conversation. On the next open panel, Sunil's name is going to be Rodon.
I already rubbed off on Jerry enough. He took that from me already, so we know where the copyright's coming from.
I want to throw it over to Mazza. I know I got two people backstage that I'm gonna bring up. I got NFE, who this is the first time he's jumping on the panel, and I got my guy Ruben. You guys just hold on for me. I'm gonna throw it over to Mazza, Sunil, then Dane. Then I'm gonna bring up you fellas to close us out. Go ahead, Mazza.
So I agree with LI, TCU, Jonathan, what everyone's saying. You know, it's gonna just lose out. Don't even try to win, because we all know that what's going to happen is they're going to try to stick it to us Yankee fans. But anyways, forget about this season. Worry about next season. Make sure that next year you inject the youth and mix it in with the veterans, so you have a part value each. So then you can then build off of that and try and get more pieces to try to help you win. Forget about 23. 23 is over.
Right.
Come back to earth. Stop trying to bullshit us, and let's think about 24.
Facts. Big facts over there. Big facts, Mazza. Dane, I want to throw it over to you. Get your take. Same question. What's your thoughts for down the stretch and how they should operate? Go ahead, Dane, before I bring up the next few guys for the panel.
Only thing I want is for them to win Cole starts and perform well, because let's get that man a Cy Young. He deserves it.
Right.
Other than that,
great.
Bring up the kids.
I agree.
Other than that, bring up the kids, play them, and get in that top 6 so we can actually get a top draft pick.
Hey, I think we are all right there with you. Guys, just hold on momentarily. I got 2 people I want to bring up first. I'm gonna bring up my guy, my brother Ruben from NYY News. Shout out to El Numero Uno. Ruben, how you doing, hermano?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Chilling, baby. You've been listening to the conversation. You know I love your insight when it comes to these type of convos, Ruben. But let me get your thoughts when it comes to the draft, when it comes to the prospects. You see your guy Dane's up here. What's your thoughts, Ruben? Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, so I joined in a little bit late, but from what I understand, and the question is, how do we want to continue the rest of this year? Correct?
Yes. How we want to continue the rest of this year, and how do you think they should attack the draft? Should they try to get into that top 6, or should they try to lose positioning because of the luxury tax? Go ahead, Rube.
Okay, so I would honestly, I'm more like, as long as they go with the young guys, I don't care what happens afterwards. So if they allow the young guys to continue playing, let them get their feet wet, so that way they have an idea of what it is to face major league pitching consistently for next year to make their adjustment. You know, like if you look at how Aaron Judge in 2016, he came up, struggled a bit, but was able to close out his swing a little bit more. He was able to make those adjustments in the off season. That's something that I want to see the young guys be able to have a chance to do. So like whatever happens after that, look, if they start winning, then we can say, hey, we were right. We told you, call out the young guys. And if we end up losing, either way, we still get their feet wet, get their experience going. And like Dane said, I just want Cole to win the Cy Young. So if Cole can just continue doing his thing, maybe get even hotter than what he's been throughout most of the year. And then that way the young guys can just kind of like get their feet wet. Knowing that they're going to be in the lineup every day, hopefully that removes the stress from them having to worry about performing. Because the fact that Cashman and Boone both said the same thing, and I think I was the talking Yanks guys that asked him, like, if they're struggling, are they going to play? And he's like, no, they're going to play. So that's all I needed to hear on my end, is that make sure they're going to play. I need them to play. Now, I'm hoping, this is completely probably not possible, but look, man, I don't wish injury on no one. But I'm hoping that there's a spot that opens up for Florial where they have to play him. You know what I mean? So if they can get Florial up to play center field, you know, I don't know, Bader goes on vacation early, whatever it is, and Wells, you know, gets called up to be the catcher. I want to see these young guys get a real shot. Florial deserves just as much a shot as any of these other guys. Florial to me is, and Dane and I have talked about this. I think Florial is just as good as Pereira, if not better. And that's just my opinion on that. And it's because he's more athletic, he has more power.
5'2".
So I really think that they need to give Florial a shot. And if not, man, let him go. Let him flourish somewhere else. So
yeah, I'm right there with you, Ruben. Florial, it seems like we've been talking about this kid Florial since like the last time the Yankees won a World Series in 2009.
Yeah,
that's how long it feels
years
like
already.
we've been talking about Esteban Florial. Dane, I know you got your hand up. You want to add? I'll throw it over to Dane. I got NFE who's backstage. I'm gonna bring up NFE first time on the panel to close us out. Go ahead, Dane.
I'm sorry. I just want to bring up Chaparro.
Oh, all good.
We're
all
going to
good.
lose him this winter if they don't play him. Why not give him a few
Hector's
games
best friend.
to see what we have?
Chaparro would be a good one to have for sure. I completely agree with
Bring
that.
him up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm right there with you, Dane. I'm right there with you.
That's gonna be a sad day.
Here's one other question. Who do you think
Go
they
ahead,
will
Jonathan.
call up in September? Next week is the call-up date.
I think
Wells
Wells
and Dominguez.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Dominguez. I don't think it's Dominguez. Wells is most definitely Wells, and it's most likely going to be a pitcher. So you may see Will Warren.
What about Trey Sweeney?
Beater.
Sweeney, I doubt that Sweeney gets called up yet, right, Dane?
No, I don't see Sweeney. I think it's going to be Yoendry Gomes because he is on the 40 man, and if they don't lose him, they're going to lose him. So they got to find out what he can be, whether that's in a bullpen role or an opening role. He went 5.1 innings last night. He can start, and he struck out 11 guys.
Right? And like Sandy says, isn't Sweeney hurt right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Sweeney is hurt. Yeah. All right, guys, just hold on 1 second. I'm gonna bring up the next person to join us in on the conversation. This is NFE. You guys are used to seeing them in the chat, whether that's over here, whether that was Pete. But let's give a welcome to NFE, first time on the panel. How you doing, baby?
Welcome. What's up, guys? Yeah, it's about time I jumped on, huh?
Brother?
Yeah, no, listen, it doesn't, as long as you hear NFE, that's all that matters. So welcome to the open panel. Appreciate you being a supportive of the show and of the channel as well, because you don't only tune into the Yankees Morning Brew, you stop off on our other shows as well just to give love. So definitely got to appreciate you for that one, NFE.
I like what you guys do, and thanks for having me on. You guys rock, so keep it up.
Nah, appreciate that. But you've been listening to the conversation. Let's get your take on it, bro. You're normally in the chat giving us your take, but let us know what's your thoughts for the rest of this season when it comes to the prospects and when it comes to the draft. And before we get ready to close this out, go ahead, NFE.
So as far as the season goes, I'll be honest. I was mentally checked out after that disastrous series against the Rockies. I was I'm done. I am done. I'm already looking into the offseason. I am looking into 2024. I was like, this team is not going anywhere. So yeah.
And he lives in Colorado too.
Right. So
go ahead, NFE.
So after that series, I was mentally checked out. I was like, okay, this team is done. They're not going anywhere. They're just gonna have to, call up the young guys. I think they were 2 months too late on that one. I think they should have called much sooner.
Agreed.
So looks like Sunil's raising his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was
you're finished. Yeah, exactly. And then I also, yeah, go ahead, NFE, and then I still have to give my take. So you finish first, please.
For sure, I appreciate it. So that was my whole thought. I think they should have called up the young prospects. 2 months earlier. Like I said, they were 2 months too late. But moving forward, I think they need to call up Austin Wells, Chaparro, potentially. Let these guys start playing. Let's see what they're made of. I mean, and then going into next year, let these guys start. The team, I've been saying it, they need to get younger, healthier.
Oh yeah,
right.
They're
all broken down.
Does not have that.
Broken down.
NFE, I threw this question out on the morning Pinstripe Chronicle podcast to Maza, and I'm going to throw it your way too. You got any gas left in that arm, and are you a righty or a lefty?
I'm lefty, and it's not meant for throwing baseballs.
Damn! I was looking for a suitable option for the Yankee closer. You know, that was the objective behind that question. Just so Maza knows too.
Yeah.
Sunil's lying. He's full of shit. He was looking for someone to be in his beer league. That's what it is. He's not looking for anybody.
I don't play no beer league, man. I don't play no off-season softball or baseball. Pickleball. There you go. Exactly.
Pickleball.
I'm ambidextrous. I'll throw lefty and righty. Which one do you want?
Exactly. Ambidextrous over here.
Yeah, Ruben over here is going full Jim Abbott on us, man.
But Sunil, I want to throw it over to you, Sunil, so I can get your take, and I want to swing it back to NFE so he could close us out. Since this is NFE's first time on the panel, we gotta let him close us out. Sunil, I'm gonna throw it over to you. I want to get your take on the questions for the rest of the season, how we should go for it. Go ahead, Papa.
If you guys don't like this take, please close your ears right now because it's going to be spicy. We got 35 games left.
Right.
We are 61 and 66 right now.
Yep.
I am projecting 5 and 30 or lose 30 all the way through. Ooh. Basically, the 5 wins are going to be. Yeah, that would be 5 wins would basically be all Cole wins because that's the only legit starter we have in the rotation. And I've been saying this from the last, I don't know how many weeks coming. We're going to have trajectories of 1-9, 2-8 through these 10-game stretches coming through. Look at the stats right now. It's either 1-9. It's going to be 1-9 or 2-8. That's where we've been trending the last series of 10 stretches all the way through.
Yeah.
That takes us.
We couldn't win a series against the Nationals, so I don't doubt anything what you're saying. So no, I want to throw it over to Ruben because my guy Ruben got his.
I'll just say one quick thing.
Go ahead, Maz, and then throw it over to Ruben and then NFE so we can get ready to get out of here. Go ahead, Maz.
I said this on Pinstripe Chronicles this morning. There's the teams that have the direction where they want to go. Braves, all of them. Then there's 50 feet of crap. And there's another 50 feet of crap, and then there's us.
I've heard this one before.
I heard that, and I wrote in the chat. I was like, Mazza, you gotta stop watching Moneyball. I know that's your favorite movie, but you gotta stop watching Moneyball. I get it. Trust me.
It's true though.
Mazza, if you shave, you might end up looking like Brad Pitt, basically in that movie.
I just have one appreciate you guys. Shout out to Sandy. Make sure you guys tune into the pipe next week with Sandy and Julian as they cover the Yankees minor league system. Sandy, I appreciate you, but I want to throw it over to Ruben to get his last take before I throw it over to NFE because we got to get ready to wrap it up. Go ahead, Rubes.
While I don't think it's completely out of the realm of Sunil's prediction, but I do think I'm pretty high on these young guys, so I really do think that they might be able to spoil some of that prediction just because I think once they get at least another weekend, like they'll probably get it pretty hot. And it's kind of hard to lose when you get some guys hitting with Judge already hitting. So, because as we've seen, Judge can go off. So, if he can just get a couple of the young guys to kind of do their thing, I think it'll be pretty hard.
So, what are your numbers, Ruben? What's your end record?
I can see them going maybe 18 and 17.
So that basically 18 and 17. That basically will get us to 78 and 85 somewhere.
I don't think so.
Or
listen, I'm just like I said, I'm just trying to get into that spot where the Pirates are at. That's all I want.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking.
18 and 17. 18 and 17 gets us to 69 and 93. So you're close to where I predicted.
No, 18 plus what we have. You said there's 35 games left. So I'm talking like
we're
18.
61 and 6. We're 61 and 66 right now.
Yeah, so
that would put us at
79 wins.
79 wins.
79 wins.
Okay, yeah, maybe 79 and 83.
The only reason why I mentioned that is like I'm not paying attention to the draft. I'm more thinking about how are the young guys going to perform, because at the end of the day, they're going to dictate where we land.
Yeah,
true.
So 79 and 83 puts us right at the 1992 record, basically.
Yeah, but I think that's a possibility if these guys really get going. Like, Bullpen's.
We need pitching, though. That's the thing. We need pitching. We have only one legit starter.
I agree with that.
92. Who do we draft in 92 after that season?
Derek Jeter.
No.
These last 35 games are going to be spring.
Derek Jeter were drafted because of the 91 record.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like after the 92 season, that's who drafted. I want to throw it over to NF. Sunil, one last before I throw it over to NFP.
One spicy spoiler for Monday night on Pinstripes After Dark. I will be on with Uncle Tats. So, that's a reminder for all to tune in.
Make sure you guys tune in. Sunil, you can't have too much chocolate milk. The sugar is not good for you.
No. It's blue agave. Get it right. It's blue agave. It's blue agave.
You gotta hide the chocolate milk. His sugar level be too high. NFE. I want to throw it over to you, NFE. Close us out. Let's get your predictions tonight. Yankees versus the Rays, and then just close us out, baby.
So as far as tonight's game goes, you guys were saying Cole was pitching tonight, correct?
Right.
I mean, I think Cole will pitch a good game. It's just a matter of if the bats are going to show up.
Right.
So I honestly would not be surprised if in this series these guys get swept. It's the Rays. That's been the story of the Yankees. They either get swept or they lose a series. And the last series that they won was against the Royals. They swept the Royals, but that was over a month ago. But
that was almost near the end of July.
Yeah,
close to the end of July.
Yeah. I'm gonna let NFB close us out, Hector. But I just want to throw one quick, numerical take. You remember what happened the last time when Cole pitched in Tampa? He went 6 innings, and he got rocked. He basically left right after Christian Bethancourt hit a 3-run home run to tie the game. Yeah.
What's up with our aces getting rocked in Tampa? Remember CC Sabathia used to get rocked in Tampa too because he couldn't get Evan Longoria out?
Yeah, but then he hit.
They didn't have captain crunch in the locker rooms in Tampa.
Then he also he hit one of the Tampa players in the balls too, and he basically went to the dugout and said, "That's for you."
Yeah.
And
if wrap us up before Sunil starts reading off his biography that he's working on right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm not expecting anything. I don't have any big expectations from the Yankees in this series. I don't like to be that fan, but it's just I'm going off of how the season's been going for these guys. And the rest of the season, I mean, like I said, I'm already mentally checked out with this team, and I'm already looking into the offseason in 2024, and hopefully Brian Cashman sticks to his word of, there's going to be evaluations and they're going to look into how they're going to improve. But based on what we've seen though, and based on how we've been talking about Cashman, I'm not optimistic about that either, but hopefully I'm proven wrong. So there needs to be some major changes to this team moving forward. And hopefully we see that.
We don't even have a rudder on the ship.
Not at all. Not at all,
right.
Jerry.
Cashman's the captain of this SS Titanic. He basically couldn't see the iceberg straight ahead.
NFE, appreciate you for jumping on and dealing with Sunil's crazy ass because he's a lunatic. But NFE, anytime you want to come on, it's an open door policy. Shout out to all you fellas for joining us. My guy Jonathan, Mikey Mazza,
appreciate all you guys.
News, Ruben, my guy Dane,
make it
Jerry. Of course, Sunil, TC Stills, like always. I love you, brother. Eli BK, we're going to close it out with this. Betting on the Yankees to lose is like betting on Mike Tyson to win. And I think we can all agree when it comes to that. Go make your money. Peace, salutations, and we will see you guys next week.
Really, y'all don't know this. Y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life because you know that it's a bet. It's a, you know I ain't letting up. My foot is on your neck. I'm a